everyone? Welcome to Jets TV. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well, man. I want to thank everyone that does watch and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the divisional round. Playoffs are here. I'm super excited. I'm ready to talk about it. But whoa. You folks always have to remind me. You keep me on my P's and Q's. I did some wild card picks as well. We need to do my wild card pick recap first. I think we need to talk about my wild card picks. I'm not going to hide my picks from you guys. So let's go ahead and go back for a second and do my wild card recap, all right? First game I covered from the wild card weekend, Bills at Jags. Took the Jags in this football game, got myself a W, all right? Jags beat the Bills 10-3. Shout out to Jags fans. You guys got yourselves a W. I took the Jags as well. I got myself a W as well. Next game I covered from the wild card weekend, Titans at Chiefs. Took the Chiefs in this football game. Got myself a loss, man. Damn. Got myself a loss. Titans beat the Chiefs 22-21, man. Oh. Travis Kelce goes down, the Chiefs just implode. Just absolutely implode. Titans just keep chugging. They just found a way to win. I mean, Mariota's throwing the football to the end zone in the red zone. Gets tipped. He catches the football, dives towards the end zone, touchdown. I mean, things just started to go the Titans' way, and the Chiefs just absolutely collapsed. So, shout out to Titans fans. You guys got yourselves a W. I took the Chiefs, and I got myself a loss. So, look, wild card round, that is behind us, okay? We need to get into this divisional round. This is where the rubber starts to meet the road, folks. You're trying to get into those championship games. You're trying to get to the Super Bowl. You have got to win this week, all right? And again, for those of you that do not know the new format because it is playoff time, I will be covering two games. Two games from the divisional round, and the third segment of my show will be Jets talk, all right? We need to talk about the Jets. I got a lot of Jets fans. I'm a Jets fan as well. We clearly are not in the playoffs because we're not very good. We weren't very good. We weren't good enough this year at least. But, you know, we're building, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, to talk about how the team can get better. So I'm not going to leave my Jets fans out. So and I'm going to continue to cover everyone's games, but again, we need a little Jet talk. So again, two games and then Jet talk. So let's go ahead and get into this divisional round. I want to talk about these games. Wild card round is behind us. That is said and done. It is time to move forward. So let's go ahead and get into it. First game I want to cover from the divisional round, Falcons at Eagles. Ooh, man, this is one heck of a matchup here, all right? You go to the Falcons side of the ball, look, they've got the weapons, okay? Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, we all know the names. Matty Ice back there throwing the football. You got Freeman back there. Look, my question for the Falcons in this football game is, if you guys get into the red zone early, can you punch it in? If you go back and you watch that Falcons game against the Rams last week, they had some issues offensively punching the football in the red zone early. And that caused some problems in that football game. You go into this game, you guys have got to put up points early. If you get into this red zone and you set up for kicking field goals against this Eagles football team, you could end up losing this game. All right? The Eagles are not going to play around with you. Once you get into that red zone, you have got to punch it in. My second question is, can you get Julio Jones involved in the game plan early? Okay? Get the ball in his hands early and often, because once Julio starts to really get hot and light the game up, the rest of the offense just opens up. They've got to get him going early in this game. You look at the Eagles side of the ball, I think the biggest question on everybody's mind is, what Nick Foles are we getting, okay? What are we getting from this guy? Is it going to be the Nick Foles that's going to come in and be the veteran quarterback and steady the ship and, you know, keep this offense afloat? Or are we going to get the Nick Foles that kind of played towards the end of the season, was really up and down, where you didn't really know what you were going to get from him performance-wise? He's got to be the guy to steady the ship. He's got to be the guy to come out and be the rock for this offense and just continue to allow this offense to produce, because he's got weapons. Just don't make critical mistakes and throw this football team out of a game. You can't turn the football over. Can't do these crazy things, all right? Because, again, with Wentz going down, Foles has got to be the guy here. You look at their defense as well. They're suffering from a bit of injuries. You got Graham, who's going to be out at defensive end. Graham's a guy, solid defensive end, gets after the quarterback, can push the pocket. You know, can they survive injury? You also got Ellerby that's questionable. That's big at linebacker. If Ellerby does not play, who's the guy that steps into his spot and you know, makes some of the plays that he would make if he was out there? Mills is also going to be out in this football game at corner, so that may hit the Eagles secondary just a bit. I think the Eagles defense will survive some of these injuries, but man, I'm going to tell you, if these guys were out there, they could be making some plays. It definitely is going to test the Eagles defense going into this game. So with all of that said, I am taking the Falcons to win this football game 24-17. I think the Falcons just find a way. I think they get going early, and I do think that this is the game where they'll solve these red zone issues that they seem to have sometimes in games. I think they punch it in when they get their chances. So, again, I am taking the Falcons to win this football game. Next game I want to cover from the divisional round, Saints at Vikings. This is another tough one. This is another tough game that I cannot wait to watch, all right? Saints side of the football first. Coleman gonna be out, wide receiver. That is going to hurt the Saints offense. We all know they got Thomas, they got Ginn, but Drew Brees loves to spread the football around. He loves to do that. And so you got a guy named Willie Snead who's put up points and put up yards and put up catches in the Saints offense. Once again, he's stepping into a very important role because this week going up against that Vikings front, we all know they've got some stout corners. So Ginn and Thomas, they might have a hard time out there. Snead is going to have to be the guy that's going to have to step up because if he wins his matchups, more than likely it's going to be one-on-one. That could really help the Saints move the football in this game. I'm also wondering about the Saints offense just moving the football running-wise against this Vikings front. They're very, very stout up front. Can you run the football? And if you cannot run the football, if you cannot get any type of production from the running game, can we continue to see you bring, Kamara and Ingram out of the backfield and match up with these Vikings linebackers? Can you do that? Can you win those matchups? Those are big questions. And I think the impact of Sean Payton's genius offensively is going to be huge in this game. You go to the Vikings side of the football, again, this Vikings style, like I said, their defense is just outstanding, but their offense is going to have a big impact in this game. Case Keenum is at the helm right now. This is the best Case Keenum I think I've ever seen in my life. Okay? I mean, he's doing his thing out there. He's throwing the Diggs. He's throwing Thean. Thean has really stepped up this year. Diggs has looked very solid when he's been out there. Rudolph is a guy at tight end that I love. I love him. I think he needs to be a bit more a part of the offense. But again, with Thean and Diggs doing the things that they're doing out there, running the routes and getting open, I understand why at times he doesn't get the ball. But I'll tell you what, offensively, they have a big injury. Elfin at center, not playing in this football game. He's going to be out. Can they survive that? Because this Vikings team loves to run the football. They start running the football here. Don't get it confused. Murray has had a big impact on their season, especially after, Delvin Cook went down early, during the season for them. Can they continue to run the football up the middle with Elfin out? Who's going to be the guy that's going to step up and play that center to keep those holes open so that Murray can get going? So that's my question for the Vikings is, hey, can you guys continue to produce running the football, one of your better offensive linemen not playing? So with all that said and done, I am taking the Vikings to win this football game, and I think it's going to be close. 27-20. I am taking the Vikings to beat the Saints 27-20. I think the Vikings keep pounding, keep going ahead, and I think they take it away in the fourth. I think the Vikings defense is going to play as tough as they can, but the Saints are going to be a tough match. But again, I am taking the Vikings to take this football game away late in the fourth, 27-20. So with all that said, guys, now I want to talk about some Jets, all right? Now we're going to do some Jet talk, guys. We're going to do a little bit of Jet talk. And I've been covering the positions. I started with the quarterback last week. So this week, we are going to be talking about the Jets running back position. We're going to be talking about what's going on there. So if you look at the Jets running back position right now, main backs, you got three of them. Is Matt Forte, Bilal Powell, Elijah McGuire. All right, look. Matt Forte needs to be moved out of that starting role. There was times this year where he was put in the game. He was clearly, being kind of force-fed into the offense as a starter. And we saw that Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire really had that spark. At times they were better backs. They're the younger backs. They're speed. They're agile. They can get after it. And oftentimes during the season, I really felt like Bilal Powell was almost being held back simply because Matt Forte was getting so many carries that he should have gotten. Going into next year, to me, there's no doubt in my mind, Bilal Powell should be the starter. Can we just stop this nonsense? Can we put the ball in the hands of this guy that is explosive, that is, he's got the speed, and that can do so many things within the offense. He's so dynamic. He can catch the football coming out the backfield. He can run those routes out there. You can split him out wide and have him matched up against backers, and he's an absolute nightmare. We have to make him our starter. Can we stop being stupid? Like, I don't know what other way to say it. It's like we need to stop being stupid and just hand him the football. Elijah McGuire is another back that I think can do some of the same things that Bilal Powell does. Young guy we just drafted. I think the exact same way about him. We have to find ways to get him the football as well. If you make Bilal Powell the starter next year, Elijah McGuire can be that guy that comes in on those maybe third down rolls or spells them, take Bilal Powell out. You put Elijah McGuire in to give Bilal Powell a blow or two. Elijah McGuire has some of those same traits. He's a speedy back, that can get after. He can catch the football. We saw so many great things from Elijah McGuire this year. It's just my problem is, again, when you're putting Matt Forte in and you're holding back these young guys for what reason we don't know, it makes absolutely no sense. Allow the explosion to get back into this offense. You have to start Bilal Powell coming into this year, and we have to see more of Elijah McGuire as far as him getting carries and just getting the football in his hands. Now, I'm going to address this because a lot of fans hit me up and they say, hey, there's a big name that may be out there this offseason. What do you think, Joe? And the big name that they keep yelling to me is Le'Veon Bell. Okay, look, I think that Le'Veon Bell is outstanding. I think he's the best back in the league. I know a lot of people argue they have their picks of what it is. I think Le'Veon, hands down, to me, in my personal opinion, is the best back in the league. I think he's great. I know he's going to, he possibly will hit free agency, and I know we got a lot of money. But to me, I don't know if I want to spend that much on Le'Veon when we have so many other issues on this football team, offensive line. I would love to see us go get, a standout number one wide receiver. Those things cost, man. Those things cost. And I don't know if bringing Le'Veon here is necessarily a need. I don't believe it's a need. It would be a great luxury item. I would love him here. But I don't think he's what we necessarily need. I think we need to shore up other, areas on this offense and on this team as well, because corner is definitely going to be a need here too. So I love Le'Veon Bell. I guess if he would come in for the right number, then I'd be fine with that. But I would love to see the Jets address other areas before we spend on Le'Veon Bell. And I would also like to see what our options are in the draft. There's some backs that could be out there that definitely feel, any other needs that, other Jets fans feel like we have amongst our running back position, outside of, just allowing Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire to get the football in their hands this year. I know a lot of people love Jones, the kid from USC. I love him as well. Great back. We could see him and we could take him in the draft as well before I, spend money on Le'Veon Bell, even though he's an outstanding talent. So with all that said, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If your team is in the playoffs, let me know what you think of your matchup. If I didn't cover your team's matchup, let me know what you guys, just some of the things you guys are thinking about the teams that you're going in to play. If your team is not in the playoffs, talk to me about your offseason. What do you guys need? What are you folks looking at fixing on your football team? Do you like your head coach? Did you want to see him fired? Let me know. Let's talk. Let's talk football. So again, I want to thank you guys for sharing your time with me. Enjoy the playoffs. Have a good time with your family, and enjoy playoff football. Have a good time, folks. Peace.